Hello and welcome. I apologise for keeping you for a couple of moments there. I had a buzzing noise on my headphones and I had to locate it. It's a problem with having OCD, as you need to make sure everything's perfect. It turns out it was actually because of a projection I was doing earlier on, which was going back into the mixer. Anyway, it's all sorted now. So we're here, we're live, and there shouldn't be any more buzzing. There should be normal audio of what you're used to. Okay, so for those of you that have joined, the reason why I'm doing these streams is one, because we're obviously all locked down, so we can't go anywhere, so we can't meet anyone face to face. So I thought it would be a good idea than to read bedtime stories, but not the kind of bedtime stories that you're used to. These are the original Germanic texts of the original fairy tales that you may come to know. Some of them you may not know, but they're all rather unique, I would say was the word. Unique to themselves. A lot of them, they are a bit tongue twistery, purely because it's Old English text written into modern day. So when you expect certain sentences to flow in a certain way, it doesn't necessarily work in that order. Like rather than we would say he said, it said he. So yeah. These stories, I have not read any of them. That's tell a lie. This is the 8th one that we're up to. But in general, I have not actually read this book. So as I am reading it to you, it's the first time that I am hearing the story or reading it to myself, to you, by proxy. So there will be parts where I may slip up. In any normal recording, that would just be edited out. Obviously, this is all live. I wanted to make sure it was live so it wasn't overly produced. And so far, it's been quite interesting. It has been quite interesting. The stories have been rather interesting as well. However, I have to advise that this is parental guidance advised, purely because the stories may not be suitable for children's ears. Some of them do contain death and morbid information. It may not be advisable, but that is completely up to you with parental discretion. Okay, so yesterday we read a really bizarre one about a peasant that gave away all of his money, essentially, to things that you would never have given money away to. In the end, he lost out all his money and then ended up getting loads more money and more things back from the king. Yeah, it's a bit confusing, but it is a bit of a long-winded explanation, which is why I'm not going to. If you want to catch up on that one, it's episode 7 from yesterday, when it was called The Good Bargain. I don't necessarily think it was a good bargain, but you be the judge of that. Remember, please like, share, subscribe, and do make sure to click that bell icon for notifications of when I do go live or when I post videos, as I will be doing this more often. Okay, so today's story is called The Wonderful Musician. I haven't read this one, obviously. None of these I have read. Story 8. And let's see how many pages. It's a relatively short one, but we shall give it a shot anyway. I do apologise in advance for any errors or mistakes that I do make, but I should try and pick them up straight away, like I did normally. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Hamtaro. How are we, sir? Also, it's nice to see people in the chat. That's absolutely brilliant. Please do keep it coming. Please do share, like, and subscribe. I won't be able to keep looking up at the chat. I will every so often, but it won't be a main focal point. Obviously, the focal point is to read you this story and then have a discussion with you about it. Right, okay, so let's get going. This is The Wonderful Musician. There was once a wonderful musician who went quite alone through a forest and thought of all manner of things. And when nothing was left for him to think about, he had said to himself, "Time is beginning to pass heavily with me here in the forest. I will fetch a good companion for myself, Then he took his fiddle from his back and played it so that it echoed through the trees. It was not long before a wolf came trotting through the thicket towards him. "Ah, here is a wolf coming. I have no desire for him," said the musician. But the wolf came nearer and said to him, "Ah, dear musician, how beautifully you do play. I should like to learn that too." "It is soon learned," the musician replied. Only you have to do all that I bid you." "O musician," said the wolf, I will obey you as a scholar obeys his master." The musician had him follow, and when they gone part of the way together, they came to an oak tree, which was hollow inside, and cleft in the middle. Something that begins with E. Yes, Edgar. I didn't want to say it out loud in case it's a pen name. "Look," said the musician. "If you will learn to fiddle, put your forepaws into this crevice." The wolf obeyed, but the musician quickly picked up a stone and with one blow wedged his two paws so fast that he was forced to stay there like a prisoner. "Stay there until I come back," said the musician, and went on his way. After a while he said again to himself, "Time is beginning to pass heavily with me here in the forest. I will fetch another companion," and took his fiddle out again and played it in the forest. This sounds so wrong. It was not long before a fox came creeping through the trees towards him. "Ah, there's a fox coming," said the musician. "I have no desire for him." The fox came to him and said, "Oh, dear musician, how wonderfully you do play." One second, I'm just going to adjust this microphone. Right, okay. "Oh, dear musician, how beautifully you do play. I should like to learn that too." "That is soon learned," said the musician. "You have only to do everything that I bid you." "Follow me," said the musician, and when they had walked part of the way, they came to a footpath with high bushes on both sides. The musician stood still, and from one side bent a young hazel bush down to the ground, and put his foot on top of it. Then he bent down a young tree from the other side as well, and said, "Now, little fox, if you will learn something, give me your left front paw." The fox obeyed, and the musician fastened his paw to the left bow. "Little fox," he said, "now reach me your right paw," and he tied it to the right bow. When he had examined whether they were firm enough, he let go, and the bushes sprang up again and jerked the little fox, so that he hung struggling in the air. "Wait there till I come back again," said the musician, and went on his way. Again he said to himself, "Time is beginning to pass heavily with me here in this forest. I will fetch another companion." So he took his fiddle, and the sound echoed through the forest. Then a little hare came springing towards him. "Why, a hare is coming," said the musician. "I do not want him." "Ah, dear musician," said the hare, "how beautifully you do fiddle. I too I'd like to learn that." "That is soon learned," said the musician. "You only have to do everything that I bid you." "O musician," replied the little hare, "I will obey you as a scholar obeys his master." They went part of the way together until they came to an open space in the middle of the forest, where stood an aspen tree. The musician tied a long string round the little hare's neck, and the other end which he fastened to the tree. Now briskly, little hare, run 20 times round the tree," cried the musician. And the little hare obeyed, and when he had to run 20 times, it twisted the string 20 times round the trunk of the tree, and the little hare was caught, and let it pull and tug as it liked. It only made the string cut into its tender neck. "Wait here till I come back," said the musician, and went onwards. The wolf in the meantime had pushed and pulled and bitten at the stone, and had worked so long that he had set his feet free, and had drawn them once more out of the cleft. Full of anger and rage, he hurried after the musician, and wanted to tear him to pieces. When the fox saw him running, he began to lament, and cried with all his might, "Brother Wolf, come help me! The musician has betrayed me." The wolf drew down the little tree, bit the cord in two, and freed the fox, who went with him to take revenge on the musician. They found the tied-up hare, whom likewise they released, and they sought the enemy together. The musician had once played his fiddle, and went on his way, and this time he had been more fortunate. The sound reached the ears of a poor woodcutter, who instantly, without a thought, gave up his work and came with his hatchet under his arm to listen to the music. "At last the right companion comes," said the musician, "for I was seeking a human being and no wild beast." And he began to play so beautifully and delightfully that the poor man stood there as if bewitched, and his heart leapt with gladness. And thus stood the wolf, the fox, and the hare. And he saw well that they had some evil design. So he raised his glistening axe and placed himself before the musician, as if to say, "Whoever wishes to touch him, let him beware, for he will have to deal with me." Then the beasts were terrified and ran back into the forest. The musician, however, played once more to the man out of gratitude, and they went onwards. I thought it was going to get a good story, and then it was almost like, writer's block, let's end the story. All of the animals ran off as soon as they seen the axe. What a shame. I was hoping to hear that the musician was going to get torn to pieces, judging by the rest of the stories. But no, alas, this did not happen. What did you guys think of it? Let's have a look at the chat. What a jerk. What did the fox do to him? Yes. I'm presuming you are happy about the fact that the animals were set free, Edgar, then. It was a big letdown. Yeah, the story could have ended a little bit better than that. It did seem like it was half written, especially when it said that, because you would have thought there would have been some sort of compensation to the strains that the animals had suffered, but this unfortunately didn't happen. However, regardless of that, I hope you've had a great day. I hope you are keeping safe, and I am doing this every night from 9:30 or thereabouts. You are happy that they were going to get revenge. So was I. So was I, Edgar. But unfortunately, they did not. They just ran off instead. Even though 3 of them against 1 man, I think they probably would have took him down. Well, technically it's 2. The hare could have bitten his Achilles heels or something. You never know. Yeah, I do this every night at 9:30 p.m. UK time. I do put on social media beforehand, just as it's about to go live, or maybe the YouTube link with a countdown of when it's about to go live. These videos are only ever live. I don't pre-record them and upload them, which is why, obviously, you get the mistakes in it and no editing or cutting or anything like that. It was a pleasure to read to you. Thank you very much for joining. Remember, like, share, and subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell notification icon, just in case you want to be notified. If not, I'll harass you on social media and let you know that way. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in, and it has been my pleasure. So, take care, and enjoy the rest of your evening or day.